Tonight on the South Today, a Central Otago town had a windy weekend as a tornado ripped apart Springvale homes. Celebrations kicked off in Wanaka and Queenstown as Argentinian fans cheer on their team's Football World Cup win. And the long-standing firefighter strike negotiations could be at an end just in time for Christmas. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. It lasted just a minute, but a freak tornado caused havoc in Central Otago over the weekend, lifting roofs and rattling nerves. The twister hit Springvale near Alexandra just before 6:30 p.m. on Saturday night, causing significant property damage.
Yeah, someone's house just got turned inside out.
Then we need to go back home.
Holy
Person.
just missed that.
Shock and disbelief as a bystander captures the moment a tornado descends on Springvale near Alexandra on Saturday night. The twister tore through the area just before 6:30 as part of a bout of wild and thundery weather. Residents in Clyde and Alexandra reported the dramatic funnel of clouds in the sky. The area of Springvale was in the eye of the storm, with some residents there losing sheds, roofs and even a caravan.
We got a phone call from the neighbours saying that our stuff was just not here, and we soon found out that it wasn't.
Emergency services were called to several Springvale properties to assess the damage, with residents in disbelief at the power of the wind.
So, about 50 metres over yonder, there was a 2.5 metre by 2.5 metre portacom that was full of gear, and tornadoes come through, and now as you can see there's remnants of it about 50 metres over yonder over there.
Witnesses recorded the wild winds and clouds of dangerous airborne debris, although emergency services say no injuries were reported. A major clean-up is now underway, with some left homeless. One family is turning to the Give a Little site to try and raise funds for emergency accommodation. In Alexandra, the South Today.
There was celebrations in parts of the country this morning as Argentina claimed victory to become the FIFA World Cup champions in Qatar after beating France. And while many Argentinian fans were bleary-eyed and tired, their celebrations could be heard throughout Central Otago.
Waving their national flag and cheering on their champions, these Argentinian fans taking no time to cool off in Lake Wanaka after spending the early hours of Monday morning cheering on their team in a heated FIFA World Cup final. Argentina came out on top, eventually beating France in a penalty shootout around 6 this morning. Fans ecstatic by the result.
As you can see, it's all happiness and it's the best day of our lives after 36 years. So our last World Cup was on the 86 in Mexico, and now we've got one more, so yeah, I'm so happy.
Meanwhile, over the hill in Queenstown, there was singing, dancing and silly string as fans celebrated a dramatic World Cup win. Argentinian supporters have been waiting 36 years for another World Cup win. They reckon it couldn't have come at a better time, with star Lionel Messi retiring.
It's the first time that we see Argentina winning the championship, and it's something we just couldn't imagine.
The celebrations growing as other fans in the resort town joined in, with the South American party set to continue for some time.
We will go into a barbecue somewhere over the lake and just keep going. That's how we celebrate, all together, all the time, just singing all day until we have no more voice.
Being on the other side of the world, not dampening any enthusiasm of these triumphant fans. In Central Otago, the South Today.
A woman who's been the face of the Gore Salvation Army Corps for more than 2 decades is preparing to call it a day. It'll be the last Christmas Kay Byron will spend assembling food parcels for the group as she'll retire in January.
A last Christmas with the Gore Salvation Army Corps for stalwart Kate Byron. She's had many roles with the organisation over the past 2 decades, initially working in the family store back in 1999. Byron was a member of the local church congregation when she started volunteering there, pricing up the clothing.
Kay Byron has been the face of the Salvation Army here in Gore for 23 years in a variety of roles and tasks, and she has been the the greeter, the carer.
Byron's also worked as a volunteer receptionist and a business administrator. But it's her role in the food bank where she's met many local residents. She's helped put together thousands of food parcels, along with offering people budgeting advice. Byron's unsure what she'll do next.
It's a big step out in faith, and I'm going to miss the place, I really am, and all the people.
But Major Fairhurst says her multitasking talents and easygoing nature will be greatly missed. In Gore, the South Today.
A mother and daughter crossed the stage in Dunedin over the weekend, both receiving Bachelor of Teaching degrees.
And while Gabby Knapp insists she loves her mum, sitting in lectures with her would have been too much to handle. The pair were completing the same degree through Otago University, but her mother was studying at the Invercargill campus. Belinda and Gabby Knapp both made it through the 3 years of university, graduating together at the Dunedin Town Hall on Saturday afternoon. Even though they were on different campuses, most of their lectures lined up, so mother and daughter always had a study buddy to talk to when they were struggling.
Understanding when assignments are due, that stress of, oh no, kind of both get it.
Yeah, it's kind of like somebody understanding like what you're going through because they're going through it at the same time.
And both have already found jobs. Belinda will be teaching Year 7 and 8 pupils in Gore next year, while Gabby will be teaching the same age group in Ashburton. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Firefighters are set to get a pay rise for Christmas after months of negotiations and strikes. Their union were finally able to agree to a new collective agreement, which is expected to be passed in time for the holidays.
Firefighters celebrating and cheering, with the end of their long negotiations in sight. Their national union has reached a proposed collective agreement, which now needs to be ratified by local committees around the country, including Dunedin. The new agreement offers better health benefits, more consultation between the union and Fire and Emergency NZ, and a large increase in the base rate of pay. The deal comes after 18 months of tough negotiations and industrial action.
There's a lot of issues, probably the last decade we've been working towards, so yes, it's a very significant day today for us. Very excited about it, to be fair.
The Dunedin station was involved in 2 one-hour walk-offs during the nationwide strikes. Mason says the process has been tough on the firefighters, but we're very grateful of the support from the community.
We want to be doing what we normally do, so it'd be good to get back to business as usual after Christmas and get back and working with our communities again.
He believes the new agreement would make for a very special Christmas for fire crews, with the union hoping to have everything signed off before Christmas Day. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Whai Yakane, still to come on the South Today. A massive mural makeover in Middlemarch is underway, and we continue our look back at the year in news from across the South. Tonight's focus will be July.
Drop when you
Don't mention Christmas! There's huge savings on beds, bedroom, lounge, dining and much more. Plus 50% off all outdoor furniture. And you can pay it off over 24 months interest-free.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, we're Central Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including interwalks.
Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside to rival anywhere else in the world.
And the best way to see it is to walk.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Middlemarch Museum is in the process of getting a makeover, with a large mural being painted on the building. Artist Jemima Pedro is the artist behind the mural and says it's been a team effort getting the project underway.
Starting to put down the final touches of paint, with the finish line now in sight. Dunedin artist Jemima Pedro has been painting this mural for the Middlemarch Museum over the past 2 weeks. But she has been at the whims of the weather, which has meant she's only been able to paint for 5 days over that fortnight. The museum showcases the social history of the local farming community, with the mural depicting some of those aspects from the surrounding environment.
So what we're aiming for is not too loud, not too bright. We're just giving a little taster of what's happening in the museum.
She says this is the biggest mural she's worked on. Museum staff repainting and water blasting the wall before she began to give her a clean painting surface to start with. Pedro admits the rough cast exterior is very thirsty, requiring around 3 times more paint than normal. Sponsor Razine coming to the party to help out with the community project.
So they've given us some paint to get going with, and any extra we may have to buy. But really, we've been very privileged with support.
The large panoramic mural was the idea of the Strath Tyree Historical Society, who are looking forward to the new vista helping spruce up their small town museum. In Middlemarch, the South Today.
And now we continue our look back at the year in news from across the South. July started with a remarkable gift to the public. Wild weather in Dunedin saw civil defence spring into action, and a highly anticipated outing for the All Blacks against Ireland led to disappointment for some.
July started with an act of generosity as the Jardine family of Queenstown donated a huge 900-hectare slice of their remarkable station farm to the QE2 Trust.
And it's such an iconic part of New Zealand that we don't want that ruined. And I don't think anyone wants it ruined.
Just up the river at the Shotover jet operation, there was excitement for the future as Ngaitahu Tourism unveiled a world-first electric jet boat.
Comparatively, it drives exactly the same. It just really heightens your senses in the fact that you can't hear those engines behind you.
In Dunedin, wild weather and flooding prompting some residents to be evacuated from their homes and triggering emergency plans in North Dunedin.
Grab what you need sort of thing and head out for the night.
It's about a metre away from getting onto our property.
140 millimetres of rain fell over 2 days, which did provide some fun for adventure-seeking students who took to surfboards on the swollen water of Leith. Back in Queenstown, locals welcomed the wintry weather with open arms for a slightly scaled-back version of their annual winter festival.
You know, winter is an exciting time here for Queenstown, so to celebrate that is just, it's really important, yeah.
And in Dunedin, All Black Folau Whakatawa took a morning out of his busy tour schedule to teach some ball skills to delighted pupils at Balmacewen Intermediate.
I love rugby. I play on Saturdays, and I've got one actually on Saturday tomorrow as well.
But the result of the test match was a disappointment for many of the 28,000 fans who packed into Forsyth Bar Stadium that weekend as Ireland beat the All Blacks 23 points to 12. Across the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Wild winds pulled apart Springvale houses on Saturday night as a tornado swept through the Central Otago town. Queenstown and Wanaka Argentinian fans have spent the day celebrating as their team beat France in the FIFA World Cup. And firefighters are set to get a pay rise before Christmas, their union agreeing to a new collective agreement. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the Associate Editor, Jo Simpson. Hello, Jo.
Hi.
What can we expect in the paper tomorrow?
People are being warned not to put COVID-19 precautions in the rear view mirror with cases on the up as Christmas approaches.
Right.
Santa might have to shake off some of his winter woolies when he passed through Otago or Southland this year as temperatures move into the high 20s.
Lovely, like the sound of that.
And Dunedin's Mayor and the Otago Regional Council are poles apart over the meaning of existence.
Right, I will look forward to reading that. Thank you for your time this
Thank
evening,
you.
Jo. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, expect a humid week with afternoon showers and thunderstorms toward the tail end. The outlook for Christmas, as Jo says, is for warm changeable weather with a mix of sunshine, cloud and afternoon thundery showers. Heading to the top of the South Island, showers turning to rain up here with light nor'easterlies, 21 in Nelson, 20 for Greymouth and cooler with 17 down in Christchurch. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, expect some rain in Ashburton with light winds and a high of 17 degrees, 16 with light easterlies and cloudy skies in Te Maru, and Oamaru's looking much the same but getting up to 15. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, expect light winds and a mostly fine day right across these parts. Wanaka and Queenstown head for 19, while Alexandra can expect some cloud and 17 degrees. Heading further south, cloudy with light easterlies here tomorrow. Balclutha and Gore will get up to 16, while the Catlins is in for a showery 15 degrees. And down to the deep south, cloudy tonight in Invercargill down to 10. The next 2 days look mostly fine with low cloud in the morning and night, with long sunny periods by day with light winds, up to 16 tomorrow and 18 on Wednesday. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Cloudy tonight with southerlies dropping to 11. Overcast tomorrow with rain clearing by mid-morning and winds dying out as the day goes on, the high 14 degrees. And midweek, expect another overcast and cool day with brief showers and gusty afternoon winds, up to 15 degrees as the high. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite ya pōpō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.